Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to Pure Hollywood, the very first episode. And unfortunately, the topic we're going to talk about today is the complete opposite of the title of this show. So, of course, we're going to be discussing Harvey Weinstein, this whole scandal, and the dark side of Hollywood. Now, for those of you that don't know, Harvey Weinstein is a movie mogul, and he was a co-founder of Miramax and the CEO of the Weinstein Company. This company produced incredible, awesome movies like Good Will Hunting and Shakespeare in Love. Now this man has been accused by over 40 women of sexual assault, abuse, and even rape. This man needs to be slammed with the full power and force of the law and removed from Hollywood forever. But is this an isolated incident, or is this a symptom of something bigger that's been going on in Hollywood for years? So let's get into the dark side of the City of Angels, the open secret that's been kept by Hollywood for years through a brief history of some well-known people and big-time players in Hollywood. Now, Louis B. Mayer, founder of MGM, had a number of horror stories, including Judy Garland, the star of The Wizard of Oz. Harry Cohen, founder of Columbia Pictures, allegedly Audrey Hepburn and Joan Crawford, A-list big-time celebrities, would tell this man, we're not interested in the casting couch before negotiating roles in movies. And the only reason they were even able to do this was because they were that big in Hollywood. Roman Polanski fled to France in the late 70s, only after he found out that he would be facing jail time for allegedly drugging and raping a 13-year-old girl. Now, you might expect this man to be shunned from the spotlight, never to be heard from again. You'd be wrong. He actually won the Oscar in 2002 for directing The Pianist.
Goes for Roman Polanski for The Pianist.
Now let's get to our boy Harvey Weinstein. According to the National Review, Harvey Weinstein's employment contract permitted him to engage in sexual harassment, get sued for it, and have the Weinstein Company pay judgments to his victims. So yeah, this has been going on for a while, but why is this kind of behavior so normalized? This is something that people all knew about, but were not coming forward and talking about. How does this happen? Well, let's first look at the values of Hollywood and what it espouses, and you almost need not look further than that. Now, for me as a Christian, I fall back on my values from the Bible, trying to do my best to follow and live up to Jesus Christ. Now, I fall daily and screw up all the time, but every time I do, it's regrettable and detrimental to me personally because of my beliefs. Now, that's my foundation. And what is Hollywood's foundation? What does it promulgate? What is the culture of this place? Well, if you look at the open marriage policies going on, the escort services, do whatever you want to succeed, do whatever feels right for you. This lends itself for people to treat sex like an object and not value it whatsoever. Marilyn Monroe, in her memoir, described Hollywood as an overpopulated brothel for producers. Ryan Gosling says in La La Land, which should have won Best Picture, by the way, who liked Moonlight? I would like to know who that person was and ask him why they did. But in this movie, there's a great quote when he talks about people in Hollywood. These people worship everything and value nothing. Now, not everyone believes in that. There's some great, terrific people that have values in Hollywood that do terrific work. But why did people not know about this in middle America? How come the masses didn't know about what was going on that do not live here? How come the people that were new to Hollywood, that had these horrible encounters, not speak out? Why did the people that were established not speak out, that did have values? And why didn't the A-list and B-list celebrities who now condemn this behavior, how come they didn't speak out sooner? And I can sum it up in one word: fear. These gatekeepers and producers and casting directors have an immense power in Hollywood. For example, a pilot, the new show on TV, right, the first episode, to book a role in the pilot, these casting directors, producers, they'll see about 3,000 people. And if you're lucky enough, you'll get called in to maybe 100, 300 people. If you do a great job on your audition, you'll get called back again to maybe 50, 20 people. And if you did an amazing job, maybe you'll test with 3 different people. And if you wow these producers enough, maybe you'll get cast. And if you get cast, your show, you finally got one, right? Except the studio cans about half the pilots that they shoot, and then you're unemployed again. So as you can imagine, and as you can see, these people, for these valuable, amazing jobs, there's so few jobs and so many people vying for them that these gatekeepers have an immense amount of power and influence. And because of the way this is structured, there's a few things that happens. One, people see that there is an incredible opportunity if I compromise my values. If I compromise for one night, I could get a role in a movie instead of working for 25 years to maybe make it. And that kind of action and transaction does happen. And it's horrible when it does, but you can understand how it can happen. There's also people who are afraid to speak out because they have no influence and they're afraid of being blacklisted in Hollywood. If you have no power or influence and you speak out against one of these guys, what if he tells everyone else in Hollywood that you're horrible to work with and that he won't see you or work with you ever again? That kind of fear happens all the time, and it's not just to people that are first-time actors and actresses. Tim Allen got his show canceled, which was one of the #1 comedies on TV, and the only conservative comedy going on at the time got it canceled. And when asked about it, he said there's nothing more dangerous, especially in this climate, than a funny, likable conservative. James Woods also said, the only reason I express my views is that I've accepted the fact that I'm blacklisted. Also, I bought stocks in the 80s. If you haven't followed James Wood on Twitter, he's fantastic. Now, these guys that got blacklisted, not for speaking out against sexual harassment, not for doing anything dangerous, not anything that would put these producers and casting directors in jeopardy, they got blacklisted just for a differing opinion. So you can imagine when someone speaks out, the fear of, okay, we really got to silence this person and end their career so they have no platform to speak against us. So fear is something huge that's enabled this cycle to continue in Hollywood. Now, what can be done? How does this stop? Ephesians 5:11 says, take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. These people that are corrupt, that are using the power to silence people, to extort people, and to abuse people have to be removed. I want to give a shout out to the real MVP of this whole story, this girl who I'm going to totally ruin her name. Ambra Badalina Gutierrez was a 22-year-old model who first exposed this whole Harvey Weinstein story and broke it to the public. And what she did was, she had an encounter with Harvey Weinstein. She contacted the police. The police worked with a wire to put a wire on her, and then she went in there and exposed this horrible, pathetic man for what he is. And it's fantastic and horrifying at the same time. But it's great for people to see, because you get to see this man who is one of the most powerful people in Hollywood be a disgusting, weak, and low, horrifically stupid man as he just tries to beg and convince this girl to stay in his room. And I think this is great for people to see and to listen to, because you can see the real power of this room. The big lie is that this man has some type of great influence and power over you. But when you look at this, in this tape, who has the power in this situation? You have this man throwing away his career, his honor, his reputation, all because he wants her. And she takes all of his power away as soon as she leaves the room and goes to the police. That is where the true strength lies. That's how these people are going to get stopped. People having the courage to step forward and put an end to this cycle once and for all. But he's just one man. And we can't afford to have another 30 years of celebrities and people who know, who have heard, who are influencers, thanking Harvey Weinstein and people like him at the Oscars more times than God before it's finally exposed.
I would like to thank Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein, who had the guts, the courage, the commitment.
Especially Harvey Weinstein, a man of dedication and vision.
Harvey Weinstein. Well, listen, so...
Harvey and Bob Weinstein, you also break my heart with your uncensored passion.
This has to stop now, and this stops by people finally stepping forward as a group and encouraging them. What we don't want to happen is for the tragedy of another victim only having the comfort to come forward in a memoir at the end of their life to expose these horrific acts and these terrible people. We need people who are in power and influencers in Hollywood, these A-list and B-list men and women, celebrities, producers, to stand forward and fight with the victims in these situations. Say, no, we may disagree on certain things, and I know I've worked with this guy before, maybe he was a friend of mine, but I'm going to stand with you to make sure that you're not going to get blacklisted, that you're not going to get abused, and I'm going to be there for support and encouragement as we bring down this horrific monster of a person so that no one else has to grow up or work in that environment again. I think we should start a new hashtag, not just the hashtag #MeToo. I think the one that we really need right now is hashtag Drain the Hollywood Swamp. Can we do that? I hope we can. I'm Ben Davies, and this is Pure Hollywood.